All right, let's talk about Claude. If you're a data pro, you've probably heard about it. It's this tool that's promising to totally change our workflows. Today, we're going to dig into what it can actually do, but maybe even more importantly, we'll look at the trade-offs. You know, the stuff you really need to understand to use it right. So, let's jump in. You know the drill, right? You get a new data set and, you're just drowning in it. Hours, sometimes days, just cleaning things up, trying to get it into a shape where you can begin to find some real insights. It's the grunt work of data analysis. But what if a lot of that could just disappear?
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll meet our AI co-pilot. Then we'll cover choosing an engine, automating the dirty work, exploring data conversationally, and even predicting the future. And we'll wrap up by talking about what this all means for us, the data pros.
So first up, meet your AI co-pilot. The idea here is to think of Claude less like a piece of software and more like a partner in your work. It's built to help with the entire workflow, from the moment you upload a file all the way to building complex models. And the best part? It's all done through a simple chat. Seriously, no coding needed.
All right, Section 2, choosing your analysis engine. Now, before you do anything else, you've got a choice to make, and this is our very first big trade-off. It's all about power versus cost, and it's a really critical decision.
And getting started is, well, it's dead simple. You just pop into Settings, click on Capabilities, and flip the switch for the analysis tool. That's it. Claude is now ready to run code for you right in the browser. The barrier to entry is basically non-existent.
Okay, so this is where that strategic choice comes in. You've got 3 different models, 3 different brains you can use. Think of Opus as the heavyweight champion. It's for your most complex, deep dive analysis, but it's going to cost you the most in usage credits. Then you've got Haiku, which is like a speed demon. It's lightning fast for simple tasks and super cheap to run. And right in the middle, you have Sonnet, which is, that just right, Goldilocks option for most everyday tasks. The big takeaway here is you have to match the model to the job. It's a classic speed, power, cost trade-off.
Okay, we've picked our engine. Now for Section 3, automating the dirty work. Let's be real, data cleaning is the part of the job nobody loves. Claude promises to be a huge help here, a massive time saver. But it also brings up a really big question. Can you actually trust an AI to do it right?
So you take your messy spreadsheet, you upload it, and bam! Seconds later, Claude comes back and says, I have now cleaned your dataset. It tells you it fixed the columns, sorted out the currencies, standardized the dates. All that stuff that would have taken you, half a day, is just done, like magic.
And that sounds awesome, right? It is awesome. But as a data pro, your spidey sense should be tingling. Whenever something looks that good, that easy, you have to hit the brakes and ask yourself, okay, but is it telling me the truth? Can I actually be sure?
And this quote just nails it. You have to remember what these AIs are designed to do. They're designed to be helpful, to please you. They're like an eager-to-please intern who might just fudge the numbers a little to give you the good news you want to hear. So what does that mean for you? It means you have to verify. You can't just trust it. Spot check the data. Look at the code it wrote behind the scenes. Trust but verify is the name of the game here. It's absolutely non-negotiable.
All right, our data is clean, or at least we've verified that it's clean. So now we're on to Section 4, Conversational Data Exploration. This is where you start poking around, asking questions, really trying to understand what's in your data set. And this conversational style is where Claude really starts to feel like magic. But you guessed it, that magic comes with another trade-off.
So you can just ask it something, in plain English. No SQL, no Python, nothing. Just a simple business question like, hey, do we make more money from businesses or from individuals?
And wow, here's that eager assistant again. You asked one simple question and look what it gave you. It didn't just say, yeah, businesses make up 95% of the revenue. No, it gave you the average order value, a breakdown of how many orders, a whole summary of insights, and 4 charts to go with it. It's amazing. It's super powerful. But here's the catch, the trade-off. All that extra work, it takes more time to generate, and more importantly, it burns through your usage credits way faster. So if you need a quick answer or you're trying to save your credits, you have to be way more specific with your questions.
Okay, let's try another one. This is a super common request, right? Let's make a map showing revenue by state.
And it fails. It tries to make this cool interactive map, but it just can't display it inside the chat window. But what happens next is what's really interesting. It doesn't just give you an error. It actually says you are absolutely right, admits it can't do it, explains why, and then immediately pivots to a solution, Let's make a static PNG version instead. So a failure becomes a lesson. It's showing you the edges of its own capabilities, which is super valuable.
So let's move on to our next section, predicting the future. This is where we really push the limits. Can this simple conversational tool do something as complex as statistical modeling and forecasting? Let's find out. So we ask it to forecast our weekly revenue. And behind the scenes, it chooses to use what's called a SARIMA model. All you really need to know is that this is a totally legit standard statistical method for forecasting that's smart enough to understand seasonal patterns in data. And here's what it comes up with. The average prediction is about 65 grand a week. Okay, not bad. But, and this is a huge but, look at the confidence interval. The forecast says it could be as low as $2,000 or as high as $200,000. That's a massive range. This is such a critical point. The AI can run the numbers, but it can't tell you what they mean. You still need to be the one with the statistical know-how to look at this and say, whoa, there's a ton of uncertainty here.
Which brings us to our final section, the Data Pro's Edge. After seeing everything Claude can do and what it can't, where do we fit in? What's our actual job now?
This really sums up the whole story, doesn't it? On one side, you have these incredible capabilities, amazing speed, no coding, even advanced analysis. But for every one of those powers, there's a required oversight from you, the professional. You have to pick the right model, you have to write good prompts, and you have to constantly be verifying what it tells you. And this is the big shift. Your value is no longer just about your ability to write code. That's being automated. Your new role is to be the chief strategist and the final validator. You're the one guiding the AI, asking the smart questions, and being the ultimate quality control that makes sure the answers are actually right.
So, that leaves us with one big question to chew on. As these tools get better and better, is our most valuable skill going to be writing Python? Or is it going to be the art of asking the perfect question? Something to think about for sure. Thanks for tuning in.